I'm going to apologize in advance. My cat Sandwich thinks this is about him, so he going to interrupt a couple of times. What Follows came out in June, and I've been reading from it ever since. So I thought I would just take advantage of Diane's hospitality and read a couple of newer poems and then some poems from the book. So I'm going to start with a poem called Vigilance. The hottest summer on record, I couldn't open the windows. A stranger had sent flowers to my house with a note that read, "Say thank you." I walked from my car to my door like a snake oxbows across the sandy road from dune to dune. Balanced a colander full of silver spoons, a saucer of cat's eyes, a matchbook spreading a mousetrap's jaw, a potted conifer I trimmed with scissors made for a doll on the sill, so I would wake if somebody broke the feeble lock. I've always been a deep sleeper, though. Roused for a fire drill, a meteor shower, a planet's burning thumbprint hanging on the Earth's lip, I would wrap myself in a quilt, tiptoe to the telescope, stare, wonder, remember nothing on waking. I'd recently learned that I wanted to live when, in a Kentucky back street, a Nazi leveled his gun at me out the window of a passing motorcade. I was behind a pony wall before I even thought, balled up my body, beetle dumbly stumbling in a magnolia's bloom. Another protester stood in the road and shouted, "What are you gonna do? Shoot me?" Oh, animal of me, oh lungfish, oh roach, oh pigeon, my body, not the horse I rode in on, but the horse that I am. It was a surprise. I'd always been a blue shred of meat hung between molars, the flashing microwave clock after an outage, a condom ripped and caught in innards, the shattered screen of a burner phone. I did not know what to do with this new desire to stay on Earth. The stranger's messages had become more urgent. Smile, beautiful, you'd be a lot prettier. Smile, you bitch, smile, or else. It wasn't so simple when I couldn't see the gun. Awake all night, yellowing a silhouette on my mattress in sweat, I thought about throwing open the window, getting it over and done. Globs of hydrangeas, spittle of baby's breath, the rancid stink of a blackening leaf pressed in the bouquet's center. I bent to sniff them, retching over the sink until I was spent. What is it in me that makes me smell what I know to be rotten? Desire forms a fist inside me. The impatiency of one hand staves the other's diving bell. Um, a few years ago, right around this time of year when I was starting to get cold, I finished a solo hike of the Vermont Long Trail, which is the trail that goes from the top of Vermont down to Massachusetts. And this is just a poem about that time. It's called Lincoln Gap. The day before the southbound hiker was airlifted off the mountain, I ran the bald summit between slaps of lightning. Why do we believe art is worth our suffering? Rather, in what room were we taught in order to make art we must first suffer? We hitchhiked to the hostel together, so wet we rode in the trunk with the Labradors. Because I did not know why I had gone alone to the mountain, I was happy to meet her and to watch her, trying to understand myself. We washed our socks, our pants, our tops, the underwear we had worn right side, then inside, then right side out, together in one shared load. We walked through town and borrowed clothes. What we call suffering may simply be the effort of work, mechanical but joyful, a weight towed up an inclined slab. perhaps what we call suffering is simply a lack of privacy, the desire not only to make, but to make public. Like this walking, I am alone for many days, not speaking, but still it is a public act to follow a trail from beginning to end. When you have walked too long, it helps to pretend the earth has vanished between the stones, to leap imaginary chasms, ridiculous. Why am I here? Perhaps I came for suffering that was mine, only mine from beginning to end. And in that suffering, I found this southbound stranger who lay breathing in the bunk next to mine. And I, restless with the end of suffering, slept only when I matched my breathing to hers. The next day, she crossed south to Lincoln Gap and died. I've dreamed every night since that my knees were broken cups. I cannot stand and have somewhere I need to go. When I was a child, I was a sleepwalker on the spiral stairs, was awoken by my hand pressed against the window's bending screen. I once believed that joy would ruin me. When the storm lifted off the mountain, I was ruined, ruined by the valley and the living sky. Kind of an origin story poem for my chronic knee pain for you there. And now I'll read a few poems from the book, and I'll be at the Brooklyn Book Fest at the Black Florence table on Sunday at 2 if anyone is there and wants to come by and say hello. But I'd say that here while I have a captured audience. I'm excited. I've never met Diane in person, so it's going to be a real thrill for me personally. This is a poem called Persona. Hello, I am the dead black cat on the curb across the street from your best friend's house. Hello, I am the dead tooth at the front of his mouth. Hello, I am the black cat, not dead, but in the posture of death on the porch of the house when he comes out to greet you. Hello, I am my knuckles, jeweled with ant poison. Hello, I am the Hardee's two-piece combo I ate in secret, ate to punish you for driving us home drunk. Hello, I'm the rust gut Corolla on the shoulder of the highway, white takeout bag flung from the cracked window. Hello, I am the plastic bag surrendering. Hello, I am the frightening inches of spice smell under oaks. Hello, I am the knife's simple mechanism. Hello, it me. What you say when you wake me up, beer drunk and dog bit, it me. When you meet me at the commuter rail station, when you tap your fingers against the frosted shower stall to let me know you are out there pissing. When I say it me, I mean it me with your voice in my mouth. What love feels like today. It me sitting in the car, waiting for you and wondering how I know which cat is living and which dead, despite no evidence of motion, no heave. I think my cat can be forgiven for thinking that one was about him and getting on camera. It's a poem called The Calf. She was born too slow. Hooked hip, hooked breath. She could stand, could nurse, but could not stand and nurse at once. The udders dripping purse just above her reaching lips. Her mother rubbed the afterbirth off against the shingled door, streak like a slasher handprint on the near side of the window to let you know the mask, the tooth, the saw and child were inside all along. My mother brought the calf to live with us in the shower stall of the pink carpeted master bath, where I loved her through the frosted glass, my hair a wasp nest then. We had 5 shoeboxes filled with dropper drinking baby squirrels. All my teeth were tied to slamming doors. She lived a week, sucked my fingers to the quick and smelled of thick. Our cemetery was already full of glass-crazed crows. A raccoon shot when he wouldn't look away. The quails we raised from eggs, holding them to the incubator bulb to see the chick sharpening inside, like muscling a telescope into focus over a blue-red star. The loose joints of death when we carried her. The way I pretended to be asleep when we pulled up to the house at night, close my eyes and think, look at nothing, want nothing. I was certain they would see me staring through the pink darkness of my lids. Say, get up, walk yourself to bed. Just gonna read 2 more poems, one very short. This poem's called Some Oranges, and it's a line that comes from Walt Whitman's diaries that he kept when he was a nurse. And so much of his job, when we think about nursing, is very different than that. Most of his job seemed to be bringing little gifts to the soldiers in his care. And often what they wanted as they were dying was just like a little bit of sugar. They just wanted something sweet, candy or oranges or jelly. I was thinking, I was told this the night before somebody really dear to me died, and I just was thinking about how in grief, sometimes what we want is actually the simplest thing. Some oranges. There are 2 3-legged dogs and one with 4 on the street in the morning. Loss leaves my mouth with a taste for sweetness. In the park, 3 little girls fit their bodies neatly into the hollow space low on the trunk of the sycamore. The roots arch their backs against the brick blanket, pooling to the playground in the asphalt basketball court, whiskery with teenage boys and weeds. This is not the sweetness I want, not the little girls or the boys who love one another and clasp each other's jaws to shout mouth to mouth, thumbs pressed tenderly by the ear after each silken 3-point shot. It is not the bird high in the sycamore who shits in the crook of my elbow, although it is dense with and heavy with fruit seeds. The sweetness is not the soft place where the shit lands, the piece too full of vital machinery to quite fit into itself. It is not the coffee from the bodega, grainy with sugar and powdered milk, or the styrofoam cup whose rim I scallop with my teeth. It is not the 3-legged dog, 3 of them now, or the one with 4, who has lain in the sun and refused to walk further. It is not the girl I wake next to, her bunched polyester slip or her underbite, not the groan of the box fan or the rusty and dependable geometry of the fire escape, busy with blooms and yellow-leafed tomatoes, too many in a terracotta pot. It is not the toothsome twist of a printed scarf round the throat of her roommate, a flight attendant bound for LAX, Phoenix, LAX. Not the vibration of the telephone low against my belly, which I slept pressed against so I would be sure to wake. Though there is a certain pleasure in the vibration in all these things. Maybe it is the wedge of cake in the plastic box I take from her fridge after the telephone call. The plastic box fitted to the shape of the slice dripping with fluorescent cherry jam. Maybe it is the way the girl lifts the hem of her slip to wipe the salty, wet face of my telephone dry when I wake her to say goodbye. Ringneck. I stepped twice on the same dead dove this morning. Beauty opened a door. What tethered me back? The bus with her wide right turn. The boys forming a circle of salt behind the depot. I am carrying my dog's bag of shit, pretending my hand is empty. The air is an animal and also another kind of animal. It hasn't learned a thing. Keeps pressing on the same windows. Keeps pressing its cheek. Thank you.